On April 12th, the Texas State Comptroller's Office began the difficult process of notifying millions of fellow Texans that their personal data had been involved with one of the most massive data breaches in the history of Texas. Hi, my name is Mark Seguin with TBG Fraud Solutions, and that picture was taken from an interview I did on April 12, 2011 with the local CBS Channel 19 News in Tyler and Longview. They contacted me because I have been providing identity theft training and protection programs to the educational sector, business owners, and their employees, as well as medical practices and nonprofit organizations and individuals for over 8 years. Sadly, the data breach involved over 1.2 million education employees and retirees from the teacher retirement system, 2 million records from the Texas Workforce Commission, and 281,000 records from the Employee Retirement System of Texas. The breach included names, mailing addresses, social security numbers, and in some cases dates of birth, driver's license numbers, and more. And all of this appears to be from a simple mistake by an employee transferring data files that were not encrypted, and the server that they were put on was not firewall protected. But the real problem is the amount of time the information was exposed on the World Wide Web. It provided ample time for identity thieves to download the information. The information can be used from a number of things: for someone to pretend to be you in a drug bust, someone to pretend to be you in a traffic stop, and end up with traffic tickets in the victim's name and warrants for their arrest for unpaid traffic tickets or even drunk driving charges, as well as open bank accounts and open lines of credit in the victim's name. Let's take a minute to view the Channel 19 story.
At the top tonight, a Texas-sized problem from a state agency. And the Comptroller's Office says more than 3 million people could be at risk.
CBS 19's Jennifer Heathcock joins us now live from the newsroom with more. Jennifer, what kind of information was placed on this public server?
Well, Chuck and Jillian, we're talking birth dates, driver's license numbers, even social security numbers were accidentally placed on a public server by a worker with the Comptroller's Office. Now, some people are questioning, can they trust the government?
From resumes to computer searches.
I got laid off in September 08, and I've been searching for work ever since.
Tim McCauley has made a job out of searching for a job.
I couldn't definitely be affected.
And he may be right in the middle of a state slip-up, putting his identity at risk.
If someone tampers with my social security number and my credit, that goes my good name.
More than 2 million Texans who applied for unemployment from December 31st, 2006 through December 31st, 2009 could be at risk with the security breach.
My gut tells me that when you have that much data sitting out on the internet, that some of it is bound to be in the hands of thieves.
Mark Seguin with TBG Fraud Solutions says colleges, ex-employers, even medical facilities have your information. And the millions of people whose information was placed online by a worker with the Comptroller's Office need to start working against a potential hazard with a good defense.
You are not a victim of identity theft when your data has been breached. Okay? All that means is that your information may be in the hands of an identity theft thief.
Seguin says put a fraud alert on your credit reports or place a credit freeze on them. Check your driving record and medical database.
Nothing justifies that. It's unacceptable.
Still, McCauley is questioning how the leak even happened and what the state plans to do.
That needs to be rectified. That definitely has to be addressed.
Now, the Comptroller's Office found out about the slip-up on March 31st, but didn't report it to the Attorney General's office until April 6th. Now, Chuck and Jillian, the Comptroller released a statement Monday saying she regrets what happened and is angry, and she doesn't believe any of that information was misused.
Let's hope not. Thank you so much, Jennifer.
So, what can you do to take steps to protect yourself, whether you were part of the Texas Comptroller breach or not? Well, here's what I recommend. The Texas Comptroller's Office is recommending that you put a fraud alert on your credit report, as well as, if you were included in the breach, that you will have access to free credit monitoring for 1 year. Studies show it takes the average person to discover they've been a victim of identity theft 14 months. In addition to that, if you have a fraud alert on your credit report, those typically last for 90 days, and they do not stop identity theft. All they do is tell someone that checks your credit that you may be a victim of identity theft, and it's up to that creditor to make the decision whether to extend credit in your name or not to the thief. I recommend that you put into place a program that doesn't just alert you to the fact that there's activity on your credit report, but you need something that will take action when you're a victim of identity theft. I liken credit monitoring to a tornado siren. You know, we just recently had the devastating tornadoes all through the South, and tornado sirens were going off all over the place. But all those tornado sirens did was alert individuals so that they could take cover. Those individuals are left to clean up the mess. Like tornado sirens, credit monitoring alerts you to the fact that someone may be using your credit, and it leaves you to find a place to hide, to shelter yourself, to take action and restore your identity once it's been stolen. The one most important thing you can do to protect your identity is find a service like the service that TBG Fraud Solutions provides that takes action on your behalf. Meaning that, here's the question you ask whatever service you're going to enroll in. When I'm a victim of identity theft, will you require me to give you limited power of attorney? If they tell you no, turn around and run from that product. You want a service where you will provide limited power of attorney and usually a police report. And an investigator should be a licensed investigator or attorneys will go to work on your behalf to restore your identity back to a pre-theft condition so that you don't have to, so that you can continue to go to work, so that you can continue to live your life. There's a plethora of identity theft products across the country that have popped up over the past couple of years. One in particular, they advertise the individual's social security number on the side of the truck. That's not one of those that will do all of the work for you, and there are many others out there. TBG Fraud Solutions, you can go to tbgfraudsolutions.com, you can go to preventabreach.com, and there's a link on the top left-hand corner of our page that says Personal Breach Response. Whether your information has been breached or not, there is a plethora of good information, steps you can take to be proactive before your information is compromised, as well as steps you can take when your information has been compromised. We welcome your questions, your email, and our website is loaded with information and resources to help protect your identity, to help you change thinking, change behavior, and manage risk.